With the set-top box data that you're collecting, you said you own the boxes? Are these your proprietary boxes like TiVo boxes?
The LodgeNet over the years has invested over $1 billion into the hotel infrastructure, and there are head ends in each of the hotels that are a combination in many cases of LodgeNet ownership and the hotel ownership. Hotels are a very complicated animal because you've got big brands and management companies, Starwoods, Hiltons, Marriott's, and then you also have behind them the actual owners, which are oftentimes private equity companies or big investment groups. So there's a lot of complexity to the actual structure of that. But LodgeNet's initial model was put in the equipment for free and own that, and then make revenue off of that equipment, off of the TV, the interactive system, and then share that back with the hotels.
What is your universe size or coverage area right now?
So LodgeNet is just under 2 million rooms. It represents, and most of those are in what they would consider either luxury, upper upscale hotels. That's predominantly some mid-scale. It tends to be the bigger hotels, the bigger brands, and the bigger markets. The reach of 2 million rooms equivalizes to about 500 million visitors a year through those rooms.
Have you started to analyze the set-top box data, and can you speak about what you found so far from the data?
Yeah, we've set-top box data. We're trying to really push the use of that data into the research. We're Nielsen metered, so we're giving the broadcast buyers and planners stuff they're used to with that. But we've noticed that there are discrepancies between the data coming from meters, which is a relatively small sample size of our thing, and our set-top box, which we have in every room. And the set-top boxes, we have a whole research group that does nothing but really analyze all the behavior in rooms, and we're constantly tweaking and adjusting things that we're doing for ourselves in terms of how we use the promo channel, how we're using the welcome channel, other channels to sort of draw people into movie viewing, music, listening, some of the things that are more guest pay areas of the business. Tried to take that intelligence, that approach, and now apply it to outside advertisers and sponsors. I'm just looking at something right now. We have NHK, which is sort of the Japanese equivalent of the BBC. It's some channels now that are getting distributed through a portion of the hotels, and they're interested in which types of programming are really are the guests really watching, and how long are they staying, what are their entry points, their end points, how does that vary by hotel chain, affluent ones versus less affluent. So we're crunching all those numbers and feeding those back to them right now, and then as a result of that they'll make programming decisions and sort of promotional and advertising decisions based on that information.
I know that there's issues of privacy. What are your views on guest privacy?
Well, we're always very careful of that, so everything tends to be aggregated, and there's a wall between the guest information in terms of knowing who stays in that room and any information that comes out of that room. We have to do that, and again, LodgeNet's had a long history of being very careful about that privacy as it relates to movies that are being viewed or watched, or how things are expensed. We'd like to get more of the demographic information into the equation though, so if advertisers want to isolate certain types of a segment for their ads and stuff, we can do that. Our next generation of our network is going to have a lot more of this very specific targeting and ad serving capability at the hotel level, and even eventually at the room level. So we're working with Nielsen right now to sort of take that information, aggregate it and stuff, in both our VOD or ITV area, as well as in our more general super block commercial inventory network.
So will you be using Nielsen to help profile demographics, or do you have other ways of doing that?
Well, both. We do use Nielsen right now to help with some demographic studies that gives that. We also get some of that information from the hotels and other third-party research companies. Nielsen right now is not using that. They're only using their own material for the new reports that are coming out on that information. There's some new reports that I think are just going to start being made available really in the next month or so. So this is sort of brand new news relative to a multi-client study in the digital out-of-home space or TV away from home space. And there will be information in there really broken down by demographics.